Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video, man. Today we're reacting to when trash talking goes too far. This is a video from Jxmyhighroller. I have never seen it, but a lot of people were sending this to me on Instagram telling me this is a video specifically that I would enjoy. So I don't know exactly what that means. I don't preview it, before I end up reacting to it because I want the reaction to be authentic. I don't know exactly what everyone's saying, specifically for me. But it's a Jxmyhighroller video. I'm sure it's great. We're almost at 30,000 subscribers here on the second channel. Oh, I shouldn't call it a second channel. On the reaction channel. So make sure y'all sub up if you're new. Drop me a like if you don't mind. And let's get into it, man. Let's see what this is all about.
All kinds of shit that whole game. Correct or incorrect?
You're
trying to get in his head. You feel like you can break LeBron at this point?
We broke LeBron.
In game 5.
So get your ass out of here with that, all right? You understand how you got the Cleveland, how you got the Miami bill? You remember
That's
that?
true.
This is what we're this is what we're revisiting. I remember this came out like a couple months ago, man. Let's just keep it rolling. I'll say some stuff in a little bit.
Broke him in
Okay, so
2010.
remember that, all right?
Fair
So
enough.
stop bringing that up, all right?
Do you think you pushed LeBron too far in game 5?
Pushed
Because game
too
6, he was
far?
unbelievable. You think you gave him the eye of the tiger?
Pushed him too far?
Nothing?
Man, listen, let me say something to you. The C's, we didn't give a fuck about LeBron. We didn't fear LeBron, and we didn't think that he can beat all 5 of us.
Pause right there. That was what I was gonna talk about. Like, you're talking about, like we broke LeBron, but then you literally say we felt he couldn't beat all 5 of us. So you're telling me you needed 5 dudes to beat 1 dude. Let's keep it rolling though. I'm sure it's gonna get even more juicy. I love the Beckett. I love it.
And that's how it felt. He was trying to consolidate because he didn't want the pressure on him. You understand? We broke LeBron.
He was trying to consolidate because he didn't want the pressure on him? Kind of like when you were in Minnesota, KG, and you decided to team up with a prime Paul Pierce and Ray Allen. Listen, also that Boston team, like KG and Paul, no team has ever hung on to 1 championship and rode with it more than that 2008 Boston Celtics team. Like, they talk like they dominated the league for like years and years and years. They won 1 championship. And like, people talk about them like they're like this all-time dynasty. Y'all won 1 chip. I'm not knocking it. It's a great accomplishment. Winning 1 championship is not easy. But you can't be talking like Paul Pierce is on TV every day talking reckless, talking about, let me not go on a rant. We're only 40 seconds in. I'm going on a rant. But that 08 Celtics team, they really talk as if they dominated like an entire decade. They won 1 championship. Come on, man. And again, I'm not knocking it. 1 championship is great. I'm not knocking 1 championship. But you can't take 1 championship and all of a sudden turn into the fact that, trying to make it seem like you dominated a decade. Relax. That was just the intro.
Earlier this month on the Bill Simmons podcast, KG had some choice words for LeBron, most of which NBA fans were already aware of. The Celtics did not like Bron. They wanted to run him and the Cavs out of the building every time they got the chance. But KG said something that made headlines and got people thinking. We broke LeBron. Now, this is Kevin Garnett and the Celtics we are talking about, so trash talk is expected. Kevin Garnett is the last of a dying breed. He came from an era where talking smack was the regular, where players weren't so quick to make best friends with their opponents. But this statement in particular was...
And I love KG. Don't think I don't like KG. I got a lot of respect for KG. When he was in Minnesota and we met him in the Western Conference Finals that year he won MVP, trust me, I saw it firsthand. Dude was a beast. I got a lot of love for KG. But we also got to keep things in perspective here. We got to be honest.
Far more than just competitive banter. We broke LeBron. Well, LeBron's last game in Cleveland in his first tenure with the team ended at the hands of the Celtics, and the fallout from the series wasn't pretty. At the time, it really did appear that the Celtics pushed LeBron to his brink and sent him packing, searching for an answer to the 4-headed juggernaut in Boston. But how much truth is there to...
4-headed juggernaut? Oh, because he's talking about Rondo, I'm assuming. Rondo was young, but Rondo was legit. He was legit.
KG's statement. Did the Celtics really break LeBron, or is there much, much more to this story? History is written by the victor, but who exactly is the victor in this story? And speaking of stories, today's video is brought to you by Audible. Visit audible.com/high.
Skip forward.
It's game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. The Miami Heat are up by 15 with less than 4 minutes left in the game. For the 4th time in 5 years, the Celtics meet LeBron James in the playoffs, and as you can clearly see from this wholesome interaction, right about now, KG would love to take LeBron's head off. If there's one clip that describes this intense rivalry, it's this one. But to truly understand the genesis of the Celtics-LeBron saga, we have to take it back to the mid-2000s. In 2007, the NBA was a completely different place. Seattle had an NBA team. Mehmet Okur was an all-star. On average, teams only made 6 threes a game, and this super team was yet to be assembled. A superstar Kevin Garnett was wasting his prime in Minnesota, putting up league-leading numbers but finding almost no success from a team aspect. Paul Pierce in his 9th season had missed.
Listen, man, nobody can do it alone. I don't care who you are. You need teammates. It's 5-on-5. It's a team game. Simple as that.
His first All-Star game in 6 years due to injury, and Boston was going nowhere quick. Ray Allen took the leap in Seattle, but the Supersonics were struggling as much as ever. Each of their respective teams were far below 500 despite how big
Look
their
at those records. Damn.
stars were playing. Now, in today's NBA, we have grown accustomed to star players quickly distancing themselves from bad organizations to pursue bigger and better things. To compete in today's league, it almost seems more like a necessity to stack the deck in your favor than a cop-out. But back in 2007, this was far from the case. But how can you blame them? They saw an opportunity and they took it. 3 future Hall of Famers in the prime of their career making no progress, and with each passing year, getting closer and closer.
And I don't blame them. Like, we look at players sometimes as not people. If it was you got to think about it from like a real human being's perspective. Like, you've been playing ball your whole life. You've been winning at every level, and you've been in the league for 6, 7, 8 years, and you're balling. You're doing your thing, but your team, the franchise you play for, just won't put the pieces around you for whatever reason. They're not willing to spend the money. They're not willing to, or they just can't attract the players that you need around you to get the job done. Like, you're gonna take it into your own hands, as you should. Why? Like, you don't owe that franchise anything. Of course, like, the fans, you love the fans and respect them, for showing you love all those years. But at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you. You know what I mean?
Closer to becoming just another star who never took their team to the promised land. Meanwhile, in Cleveland, a 22-year-old LeBron in his 4th NBA season had turned the Cavaliers organization from a 17-win disaster to an appearance in the finals and their highest win total in 15 years. By this point, he was more than just a young prodigy on the path to greatness. 4 seasons in, and he was already doing things that would take some all-time greats an entire career to accomplish. Leading up to the 2007-2008 season, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen had only made it to the second round of the playoffs 5 times in their entire careers combined. And they only made it to the conference finals 3 times combined. They had a combined playoff winning percentage of 42% and won 8 of 17 playoff series.
They were struggling.
KG had one of the toughest runs of his era by getting bounced out of the first round for 7 straight seasons. That's 3 perennial All-Stars coming into their 10th, 12th, and 13th seasons with minimal playoff success and no real chance at a championship. For comparison, coming into the 2007-2008 season, LeBron had a playoff win percentage of 58% and went 4 for 6 in playoff series. Now, sure, you could say that Garnett, Pierce, and Allen did not have the right pieces around them to take their team to the next level. But while they were struggling to make it out of the second round, a 22-year-old LeBron was busy dragging this roster to the finals. Leading up to the 2007-2008 season, this is the list of all-star teammates the Boston Big Three had played with in their careers. Far from the greatest bunch to ever lace up, but still players that could contribute at an all-star level. And here's the list of LeBron's All-Star teammates leading up to the 2007-2008 season. If you were going to make the claim that KG Pierce and Ray Allen didn't have any help, you would have a tough time convincing anyone that LeBron did. And even when you break down the head-to-head matchups between the Big Three and LeBron before the trade, history is in favor of a young LeBron. In the 29 times Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen faced off against LeBron before the trade, they won 13 times, and Bron won 16. And while en route to those 16 wins, LeBron was putting up MVP-like numbers. Keep in mind, this was from the time he was 19 to the age of 22, and he is doing this to 3 of the league's best players.
In a relentless world, connected.
It's true. But I understand why you can't fault them. Like I said, you're wasting all those years away. You got to take it into your own hands. You got to demand a trade. You got to sign somewhere else in free agency. You got to do what's best for you.
So it's clear that James got the best of this trio before they joined forces. But the idea that this Boston super team was formed to stop LeBron is a stretch that I'm not willing to make. At the time, the Spurs were coming off of a championship and were looking like one of the most dominant dynasties in the modern NBA. The Dallas Mavericks won 67 games led by an MVP Dirk. And quite honestly, they knew they couldn't do it alone. Sure, LeBron was on the rise and looking like one of the best players in the league, but I believe Boston thought Cleveland was not the biggest of their worries. In fact, I know this because KG had this to say on the Bill Simmons podcast.
We didn't fear LeBron and we didn't think that he can beat all 5 of us.
And to a certain extent, this is true. After the Big Three was created in Boston, LeBron went 12 of 13 against the Celtics while getting bounced out of the second round at the hands of Boston in 2008 and 2010. In that 2008 series, the Cavs took the L, but not before getting pushed to 7 games and getting a 45-point bomb dropped on their head by James. Regardless, the Celtics seemed to get the best of LeBron whenever it mattered most. And just like that, LeBron was no longer an issue they had to deal with. In 2010, the Celtics broke LeBron. Well, at least that's what they thought.
In this fall, I'm going to take my time.
So basically, KG is saying they broke LeBron because they made him leave Cleveland. So does that mean all the teams in the West broke Kevin Garnett? Does that mean all the teams that Ray Allen faced when he was in Seattle broke him? Or that you're only using that logic in this one case because he decided the same thing you decided. This organization is not giving me what I need to get to the top level. I'm going to take it into my own hands and make sure I have the pieces around me that I need. I mean, that's only a logical conclusion, right?
Down to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
Wade, James for the lead. James over Pierce.
Back-to-back threes on him, though, to close it out? If that face doesn't say it. If Rondo's face... And then who would have thought? A decade later, they'd be playing side-by-side, winning a championship for the Lakers. Nobody would have believed it at this time. Nobody would have believed that. Life is crazy.
Ray Allen for 3. It's over.
In the summer of 2010, LeBron packed his bags and got out of Cleveland in pursuit of a team that was built for championship runs. After wasting his talents on an organization that refused to give him the tools to succeed, he decided enough was enough. You know, this whole thing sounds really familiar. I can't quite put my finger on it, but the idea of a star player leaving one team to join forces with other stars, I feel like I've seen similar events unfold before.
Exactly, they did the same thing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They did the same thing, and I don't blame any of them. As I said, you gotta do what's best for you. I don't give any of them hate for it.
In an effort to consolidate and get the most out of his prime, LeBron went to Miami to team up with Bosh and Wade, a plan that was built off of a blueprint they saw 3 years earlier. And yet, according to KG, LeBron only went to Miami because the Celtics broke him and he didn't want that type of pressure anymore. Well, that may be the case, but by this logic, does that mean that the Pacers and Nets broke Paul Pierce? did Kobe, Shaq, and Tim Duncan break Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen? 33 combined seasons and no finals appearances, joining forces with the boys. 7 seasons, 2 conference finals appearances, and a trip to the finals, broken. But of all the interesting points KG made on this podcast, the one that really got me thinking was his comments on the 2012 Eastern Conference Finals. This series, because KG specifically mentions the Celtics beating down and breaking LeBron during Game 5 of this series. Well, by Game 5, the series was tied up 2-2 and the Celtics were on track to going up 3-2 with their 3rd straight win. KG had a monster 26 and 11. LeBron was held to 12 points and 29% from the field in the second half. He looked tired and defeated. And if he were to end the series right here, then KG's comments would make sense. But this series was far from over.
Down. James blows past Pearson, throws it down. Having the guard LeBron James. James with the jump. 3. Difficult shot for James for 3. James spins, trying to draw some constant.
Exactly what he should.
Doc Rivers doesn't want him to hesitate. Double-figure game. James.
Hey, side point for all my basketball heads out there. You see how many mid-range jump shots he's taking? LeBron barely shoots mid-ranges now. It's like the mid-range game in the NBA is almost gone. It's either a shot in the paint, even like Kawhi. Like Kawhi shoots a lot of post fades. He'll get in there a little, kind of back down, go this way and bang. But even those, like he's shooting them majority of the time, like in the paint. He's getting deep position. Like just the evolution of the game just in 6-7 years. The analytics side of basketball, people really like stop shooting mid-range shots for the most part. Like I don't know if y'all watch I'm getting off topic. I don't know if y'all watch JJ Redick's podcast, but he talked about how like they'll have analytics guys. NBA teams have analytics guys that are there, and they'll show you like JJ's obviously a great shooter, and they'll tell him like statistically looking at the numbers and stuff, you're better off just not shooting mid-range jump shots at all. And like JJ said, it messes with his head sometimes now. Like he'll catch the ball and he'll be like, as he goes up for the mid-range shot, he'll in his head he'll be like, analytically this is a bad shot, and it'll mess with him and make him miss. It's just interesting for anyone that like really loves to study basketball. Interesting just watching this. He's already taken like 3 or 4 mid-range jump shots, and the second quarter just started. If you watch LeBron in the NBA Finals that we just watched for the Lakers, I think he shot like 1 or 2 mid-range jump shots the whole series, it felt like.
Again, Ash down low against Ray Allen. Turns, little jump hook, won't go. James comes, steps on Petrus. Now the jump shot. That's been going it.
Look at all the mids.
I
mean, he's drilling them, but funny how the game evolves, you know?
He is knocking down jump shot after jump
sometimes
shot.
I feel like, I know analytically speaking, it's not a great shot, but I feel like sometimes people should shoot it more, even though like looking at it from a numbers-based perspective, it's not the best shot. But I feel like it opens up other things. I don't know, I'm probably boring y'all. Let me just finish the video.
Following Game 5, the game where the Celtics broke LeBron, James had one of the greatest playoff performances in NBA
right?
history.
45 and 15?
In a 19-point blowout, LeBron finishes the game with 45, 15, and 5 on 73% shooting.
73 though?
For not one moment did Boston have LeBron contained. He was doing whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. Kevin Garnett finished the game with 12 and 5.
Well,
Bill Simmons brought this up, asking KG if he felt like the Celtics pushed LeBron too far in Game 5, leading him to go berserk in the following game. And I don't think KG fully understood the question, because the correct answer is yes. KG's antics in Game 5 brought out Hall of Fame 99 MVP Miami Heat villain LeBron, and it cost them Game 6, followed up by a 31-12 Game 7, and I guess KG was speaking facts. The Celtics beat down, humiliated, and broke LeBron. If it wasn't for those darn Celtics, who knows what LeBron would have been able to accomplish. Time after time after time, they really just handed it to him. Honestly, ruined him from that moment on. Who knows where LeBron would be right now if KG and the Celtics didn't break him. All right, my brothers, listen up. In today's busy world, who has time to...
That was a good video. Definitely drop a like for my boy Jxmyhighroller, man. He makes really great content. But yeah, I see why you guys recommended it. It's an interesting topic, man. It's a very interesting topic. I remember when KG came out and said that originally, you know, First Take and Undisputed, and everyone was talking about it, and it was interesting to hear what people's opinions about the whole situation were. But let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Hopefully y'all enjoy it. Drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.